This is a sour cream twist recipe that my mother made many years ago, and people seem to have a difficult time not with the mixing but with the rolling out. So we're going to mix them today and bake them tomorrow. In the bowl I have 3½ cups of flour, a teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of butter flavored Crisco, and I have a package of dry yeast. Just in the past year or so, I found out that this gadget was really handy for mixing this together. I used to use 2 knives and cut it in like you did for pie crust, but this works quickly, more quickly I should say, than trying to cut it in with knives. A good idea before you start is to wash your hands, because I'm going to end up getting my hands into this. I don't know of any other way to do it and get it done quickly. And it really crumbles quickly, with this, whatever they call it. Anyhow, it's very inexpensive and very worthwhile to have. Now I'm going to add to this a cup of sour cream, and I use the light sour cream. It doesn't seem to matter. You can use the regular if you want to. I have 1 whole egg and 2 egg yolks. So I put all that in together and then I start to mix it. A teaspoon of vanilla. So it doesn't take long to mix them, and actually it won't take long to bake them either. They are an overnight stay in the refrigerator, and it is necessary to have the dough cold to do that. Now this is about the time when I get my hands into it, because it's not real easy to mix that way. Now you may be able to do it with a spoon, but I'm not patient enough to wait for that to happen, so I get my hands into it. Get down there to that flour that's hanging around on the bottom down there. Actually, this is a different bowl than I usually use. I usually have a stainless steel bowl that I use, but I thought you could see better if I used a little narrower though at the bottom than my other bowl. As you can see, it does get stiff as you work the flour in. We don't want any flour left in the bowl, so I'm going to work it all in. Not wanting to do what I want it to do, of course. I guess that's how it goes. So use a bowl with a bigger rounded bottom than this one. Oh heck. I don't usually do this, but it's not cooperating here. Once I get it mixed, then I put it in you can put it in a bowl with a cover, or I usually put it in a gallon plastic bag and then leave it until the next day. And that's when we'll roll them out. So we'll finish the process tomorrow. Well, we're back again today now to roll out the twists, sour cream twists that we mixed yesterday. And I wanted to show you the two bowls because this is the bowl that I used and I was having difficulty, if you recall, and it's because the bottom is so narrow. This is the one I usually use, and I had trouble working the flour in. So I wanted you to see that it does make a difference what kind of a bowl you use. So I'm going to get the dough out of the refrigerator now, and I have everything set up here. 2 cookie sheets that are sprayed. I'm going to turn the oven on, 350. I have a mat here that I use, rolling pin, 1 cup of sugar, and this is the spatula that I use to get it out of the oven. Now, it's very old and it's very, very slim, and that makes a difference too, trying to get it off the cookie sheet. So now, since I had trouble yesterday, I hope this goes okay. You notice there was no sugar in the recipe itself at all. Seems to be very, very stiff today compared to what I usually have it, so I don't know why that is. When I measure the flour for the recipe, I never stick the whole cup in and pull it out. I spoon it into that cup because this was a recipe that was written when they used to sift flour, and I've already reduced the amount of flour used to 3.5 cups. The original recipe was 4 cups. And because we used to sift the flour, and some of those sifters were like sifted 3 times, you had less flour. Now, I'm going to do this 3 times. Roll out the dough and fold it. This is what makes the layers. So each time I will use about 1/3 of a cup. You fold it like a letter that goes in an envelope. I'm going to roll it out again to the size that I had it before. Looks like I'm going to have trouble with this dough. A lot of times I pick it up from the mat so that it doesn't stick, so that the bottom layers also move. When we finish, the dough will be about this size. when we're ready to cut it and twist it. Again, about 1/3 of a cup. And you don't have to be absolutely that accurate. I take the extra sugar after a while and kind of dip the twists in it so I can bake it. You notice my rolling pin only has one handle on it, and somebody replaced a rolling pin for me because it was like that, and now this one has that too, so there's no sense in buying a new one because this is how I use it all the time. This is actually stiffer than the dough usually is. What makes a difference? I don't know. But it's good you see me having trouble. I don't usually have any difficulty when I roll it, but as things would have it, it's not going real well. Now this will be the last time that I'll be rolling it, so I like to try to have the ends pretty good, but these aren't looking red hot, are they? Okay, this will be the last time now that we're folding. And so this is the last time that I'm rolling it, so I want to roll it to the size that I'm going to use it, cut it down the middle, and then I will cut pieces off of that. Okay, I'm gonna kind of trim that up a little bit. That doesn't usually happen either. So now I'm gonna cut it down the middle. And then depending on how thick or thin I've got it, I will cut pieces off of it, one twist, and put it on the cookie sheet. I don't know exactly how thick that is or how wide, maybe ½ inch, maybe a little less. It depends on how thin I rolled the dough, actually. Maybe that one was 3/8. It doesn't really matter. You're not going to take a ruler and measure it. I use 2 cookie sheets that takes the whole recipe. These can be difficult, excuse me, when it's humid and with the sugar. It can be difficult to get them on the cookie sheet. You notice I have a little sugar here that I'm absorbing as I twist them. When I put them into the oven, I bake them for 11 minutes. I do 1 cookie sheet at a time. You want to be certain to take them off the cookie sheet immediately when you take them out of the oven. And I flip them over as I take them out so that they can dry on the underside. My family always gets to eat the nubbins. If I have room on the cookie sheet, I always like to fill this one up so that maybe I cut them slimmer the next time or have more room on the next one. Or less room. Okay, we'll put this one in and we'll set the timer for 11 minutes. I don't know how my mother ever figured out how to do these from a cookbook, but she did, and we didn't know of anyone else that ever made them. So we'd like to have you have the opportunity to be able to make them. I'd say the cut that I'm using is about 3/8 probably. Wide. Well, that one doesn't look so great, but that one probably won't make it to the potluck. When you take the twists off the cookie sheet, you want to be certain to wash it immediately, because this sugar sets up like cement. One time I answered the doorbell, left them on the cookie sheet, and I couldn't get them off the cookie sheet. I wasn't smart enough to put it back in the oven and dissolve the sugar again. I just chopped at them. So you might say probably the whole thing was practically ruined. This one piece left over, I'm going to go ahead and twist it and bake it anyhow, even though it's unusual shape. When the first tray comes out of the oven, I always look at it and make sure that it doesn't need maybe another minute, because the first tray always seems to take longer than the second tray. So we'll check it out and see what it looks like. One's jumping off the sheet. They look pretty good. The only time I take is to put this one in the oven, set the timer, and then I get them off the cookie sheet. Okay, now I take about 3 off at a time. You get under it. And don't take offense the fact that I'm telling you these things. You see how sugary they are underneath? I didn't want that on the board. I want them to dry. And Stacy's doing this video, so she'll be our taste tester to see if these are okay or not. See this one untwisted? That doesn't matter. You want them very, very lightly browned. I put this immediately into the sink and start running water into it. Otherwise, that sugar sets up like concrete. I hope this video helps you understand the process of making sour cream twists and that you enjoy them. Happy baking!